Harihi Om. Sanatana Dharma 101 class continues. Bhakti, the river channels into canals. Tretayam mantra shaktischa jnana shaktischa krite yuge dvapare yuddha shaktischa sanghe shakti kali yuge. In Kali, it is very important to have collective representation. Even Sanatana Dharma and the Bhakti movement clearly says that you need to have a representation where there is a fair representation of wants and wishes of the people belonging to that group. So Veda has done its job. Veda says things to do, yagas to do, yajnas to do. If you need something, do this. And then there was also a protocol in the system, in the society, that these Vedas are for some sections or majority sections you may take, not in terms of populace. So then the society itself thought of, it is because of the Lord's Karuna. So what is the one thing that attracts us to Him? We'll see that today. It's Lord's Karuna that the society formed what is called as a Bhakti movement. So, Tasmaat vadhyannapi prapannan na pratiprayachanti. Tasmaat vadhyan prapannan na pratiprayachanti. Even if somebody, Veda says this, okay, if somebody has taken a refuge under your feet, even if that person has done some crime which deserves ultimate punishment, mrityu danda, even then, because of the refuge, you need to make sure that you protect that person. But at the same time, if you protect him, make sure he realizes the mistake. That's a qualifier. But the actual meaning doesn't say that. So Veda has said this and gone. So all these edicts Vedas did. Somewhere it says Satyam Vada Dharmanchara Swadhyaya Anma Na Pramadaha. You should not sacrifice your studies. Then the Smritis and Shrutis say that you should have a punishment. If somebody has done Mahapataka, so that you are taking gold from somebody else, or you are paradara haranam. So you are going and doing mischiefs in somebody's family. For want of decency, I am using it. You may understand what it is. All these are known as Mahapapa, Brahmahatti. Whether you don't take care of cow, that itself is a Brahmahatti. You don't have to slaughter. Veda even says that even you don't have to go to that extent. Even if you are not taking care of the cow, Gomata, or any Pashu, for that matter, that is a Mahapapa. So this much respect and responsibility is there for the human being to protect and respect the other Pashus, Dvipad, Chatushpad, particularly Chatushpad, domesticated animals. If that is the case, then how are you going to satisfy all the edicts in Veda? It's confusing. And then we know that it is only for some sections of the society. What about the left out? That's where Bhakti comes. Sanghe Shakti Kali Yuge. All these edicts. And this, you have to unionize. You have to group. You have to congregate. If you have to do some good things, you have to congregate. If you have to win over the evil, you have to congregate. Veda says in the third Ashtaka, 8th Prapataka of Taitriya Brahmana, third Ashtaka, 8th Prapataka, first Dashini itself, first portion of the third Ashtaka and the 8th chapter of the third Ashtaka. In Brahmana Bhaga, you refer the canto as Ashtaka. So third canto, 8th chapter, first paragraph. That is referred to as third Ashtaka. 8th Prasna, in North India they call it as Prapataka, and Prathama Panchashat. But in Brahmana we don't call it in 50 words. It's grouped in 10 lines, Dashini. More or less same. Okay, it's only how you use the vernacular for that particular text. Sangrahanyeshtya yajate imam janatagum sangrananiti dvadasa ratni rasana bhavasi dvadasamasa at samvatsaraha samvatsarameva varunde maunji bhavati urgvaimunja urjhameva varunde chitra nakshatram bhavati chitram vaye tatkarma yadasvamedas samrudyai. It tells us even listening is such ramyam. It flows. Okay, those are all good. But what is the meaning? Sangrahanyeshta. If you have to do some ishti, if you have to do something for which you are doing something for want, that is known as ishti, you have to group people. So bhakti comes in Veda itself. So what we stopped in the yesterday's class was it all has Vedic relevance. So the grouping for collective, we have grouping and undertaking collective effort for collective good is the first and foremost aspect of the greatest yajna prescribed by Veda, Ashwamedha. Ashwamedha begins with an instruction to group together on a particular day, on a good day, whatever it is. It says Chitra Nakshatram Bhavati. Don't ask me. Veda says Chitra Nakshatram, do it. Okay, all days are good days, okay? So the bhakti is basically bhaja sevayam. So you do seva to the Veda Purusha, and Ashwamedha is a great example of not only doing the sacrifice, it also helps socially. If you have to do Ashwamedha, it takes longer days. Vajapaya is 17 days. Ashwamedha takes number of days. You have to build a separate paraphernalia, separate yajna vedika, separate hut. For that you have to employ people, then you have to build a chariot, then you have to rear goats, you have to rear horse, you have to rear cows, and you have to invite people who can recite Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and foresee everybody, and lot of pots have to be made. Once they've all made after the yajna, avabrita snana, the finale, everything has to be torn apart. So again somebody with some yajamana will start doing yajamana. So all these Vedic things in a collective form or way is only for social benefit, that you understand. But those are very difficult to do, but there's other way of doing collective things. So in Kali Yuga, Sange Shakti Kali Yuge. So it starts like that. So then what happened? The bhakti becomes a uniter. You can't build an Ashwamedha mantap because for whatever reason, Ashwamedha sacrifice is not prescribed in Kali Yuga. Okay, there are no kings, although there are monarchies, but namesake. So basically, there are no yajnas like Rajasuya or Ashwamedha. Soma Yaga can be done, but it's difficult. But instead of doing all this, why can't you collectively come together, focus your attention on something and preach affection and love? That is what bhakti. And people from north to south, east to west, even in the Western cultures and Western civilization, people are preaching bhakti. Charanu, Sharanu. So, take refuge. What Veda says? The same thing in beautiful Telugu, Annamaya sings in his Padhya. That is what bhakti. Look, all that sangrahanyeshta, ishti, ishet, vorjetva, vayavasto, payavasta devo, vasavita, prarpayatu, strethatamaya karmana, apyayadvam agniva, deva bhagamurjaswati, payaswati, prajavatirana, yakshma, mavaste, ishatagagumsho, rudrasegyo. All these 50 words, paragraph. It's very difficult. Forget all this. Sharanu Charanu Surendra Sannuta Sharanu Sri Sati Vallabha. Same Veda, the collection, what you do, Annamaya sings in Arabhiraga to unite people of the whole Telugu land, not only Telugu land, whoever has some inclination, sing in their own written script. Sharanu Charanu Surendra Sannuta Sharanu Sri Sati Vallabha. Sharanu Rakshasa Garva Samhara Sharanu Venkata Nayaka Sharanu Venkata Nayaka Swami Sri Raghunayaka Sharanu Raghunayaka Animishendrulu Munulu Dikpatulu Amara Kinnara Siddhulu Ganatato Rambadhikantalu Kolishinaere Charikaya Sharanu Sharanu Sripati Sharanu Sharanu Surendra Sannuta Paramapada Govinda Madhava Padmanabha Janardana Dharanitara Varagaruda Vahana Daitya Balimata Bhanjana Nijadasa Manasa Ranjana Sharanu Charanu Surendra Sannuta Sharanu Sri Sati Vallabha Ennakalamu Prahalada Bhaktudu Ennakalu Prahalada Bhaktudu. So many people, countless. Ennakalavu, we can't count. That many bhaktas have just grouped people together on the streets. Whether it is Shamshabad today with the Chinnajiyar building the tallest Ramanuja statue, or in Bhadrachala or in Simhachala, whatever it is. Ennakalamu praklada bhaktudu elamito mimu koluvu vachiri vinnapamu vinavaya devura na vinnapamu vinavaya de. You listen to me, Venkatajalapati, Lord of Seven Hills, listen. Vinnapamu vinavaya devara Venkatachala nayaka Vijaya Venkatanayaka Charanu Sharanu Surendra Sannuta Sharanu Sri Sati Vallabha. Why I have said this is Bhakti unites. So this yesterday I said the Abhanga in Marathi. So now I have to say what the people in Marathi have said. Annamaya sings in Telugu. What does he say? Ennakalavu praklada bhaktudu elamito mimu koluvu vachira. They have come to see you in the kolu. A kolu mane assembly. So Lord, you are sitting like a king, and all these people, countless people, starting from Prahlada, Narada, all have come to see you. The same thing in Marathi Abhanga. What did we learn? So Bhakti unites. It doesn't matter what language you sing, in what meter you sing. This is in Abheri. That is in some other language, some other Hindustani raga. So what is it? Uta Pandaricha Raja Bada Vela Jala Tava Vaishnavancha Dari Darshanasiyala Koluvu Vachira. Switch to Abheri. Ennakalamu praklada bhaktudu elamito mimu koluvu vachira vinnapamu vinavaya devura Venkatachala nayaka Vijaya Venkatanayaka Darshanasiyala Uta Pandaricha Raja. So, people have come, that is bhakti. People have congregated. They have congregated why? Because they have to show affection towards you. Bhajat mane affection. Acquire. You acquire Lord's affection, distribute that affection to others so that they also acquire. Juta murare. Same thing Tyagaraja sings. Chuta murare. Rangapatini Sudatular. Chuta murare. Sudantulara. People with good teeth. Hey women, let's all congregate together to go and see the Lord of Sri Ranga. Tyagaraja sings in same Abheri. Chuta murara Sudatulara Rangapatini Zuta Sitapati Pujudata. Who are you? Now comes Bhava. So he then gives a story like Ramayana. So who are you? Hey Lord of, that is the Lord of Seven Hills. And that is the Lord of Pandharpur on the banks of Chandrabhaga Nadi. This is on the bank of Akasha Ganga in Tirumala. Annamaya sings Padyamlo. And then Tyagaraja sings about Sri Ranga in the Ubhaya Kaveri Madhye. Sapta Prakara Madhye, Sapta Prakara Vimane, Sarasija Mukulod Bhasamane Samane. So he is on the Sapta Prakara. And he is on the island between two Kaveri. Kaveri splits little bit before coming to Srirangam. So he says, Juta murare sudatular Ranga. Of course, Tyagaraja slang uses Sudhantulara becomes for the meter and also slang. This is the Telugu spoken in Tamil Nadu. So, Sudhatulara Rangapatini. Who are you? Sitapati Pujutata. You are the Lord who was worshipped by Sitapati. Sitapati Pujudata Sudatulara Rangavatini Chuta Murare. It becomes Juta Murare. Anyway, it's a slang, right? So, prominence is given to music. Chuta Murare Sudatulara Rangapatini. What did I say? Bhakti connects. If you look at the meaning, that is the pity. The great singers, many of them don't understand the meaning, and most of them are from Tamil land. Whether they sing Dasara Padya or Annamaya Padya, the Swara Ucharipu, the Swara intonations may not be correct, because in Tamil we don't have that Varga. Anyway, the Varnas. So, but people should make efforts to transliterate that into English with consonant numbers and all this. Anyway, that's all. Let's leave up to them. Or ask people like Bhargavi. My Kannada is very rough. It's not, it's rudimentary. So I have Bhargavi here if I have any doubts in Kannada. And of course, she taught me one Dasara Padya correctly. So, for full disclosure, so you have to ask. But what happens? This bhakti connects people. So, how does this bhakti come? So, that we all know bhakti is congregation. Congregation is to gather affection of the Supreme and distribute the affection to others for the goodwill. So, there was a great preceptor in Tamil land. So, Ramanuja Sampradaya is a bhakti Sampradaya. So there are a lot of preceptors after Ramanuja. And one Ramanuja's preceptor was called as Namjiyar. So he was a Kannadiga. He was an Advaiti from Melakota. His name was Madhavacharya. So he was from Kannada land. But then the Srirangam was the capital. Like DC is the capital of United States. Austin is the capital of Texas. So the capital for the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya means it's Ramanuja Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya, because we keep Sri Lord and Lakshmi is the connector between Jivatma and Paramatma, hence it is known as Sri Sampradaya or Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, whatever it is. So, they all came to Sri Rangam. Of course, imagine he should have learned Tamil to survive, he did it, okay. And then people went and asked him, so what do you call the great characteristic of a Vaishnava? Vaishnava means Sri Vaishnava. Anyway. So the greatest characteristic of a Sri Vaishnava is you see somebody on the street, suffering. Amma. Then you should not walk past. So what did we say? Veda, we think that Veda is cruel in a way. Veda only says give it to studied people, for Brahmins or whatever it is. No. The Bhakti codifies it. That is the greatest achievement of Ramanuja Acharya was, he brought the Bhakti Bhava into the Sampradaya. He did not deviate from Veda, but he asked people to look at the Veda and the meaning of Veda with the prism of Bhakti. So, Jnana is very important. You should know who is Supreme, you should know who are you, what's the connection, no denial. But if you could take it with an emotional pitch there, so he codifies, so he gives rule where you have to take bhakti to be of importance. So he calls it as bhakti rupa panna jnanam. Jnana qualified with bhakti. Okay. So then all the people were strict followers of Swami Ramanujacharya. He's a great social reformer also, some 1,100 years back, imagine. So what they said was, so there was a guy suffering on the street. Oh, some Brahmin walked by. I'm just giving you a story. So then Brahmin said, oh, it's time for me to do the yajna. Of course, nobody says that you should stop yajna. But when this person is suffering on the street, the first important thing you have to do, so that's jnana. Jnana is there because at 6 o'clock we have to do Ahar Ahar Sandhyam Upasita. Ahar Ahar in the morning and every day you have to do Sandhya. And when the sun is, when the Sandhi Kalme, after doing Sandhya, and then you have to do morning Agnihotra and evening Agnihotra. Nobody says stop them. But if there is a genuine cause where you are able to express your affection to the Lord or to the Supreme, and in one case, if you are able to have a chance to express the affection to the masses, that takes preponderance. That's the distinction between Advaita. We are not here to show one philosophical has merit over the other. That's not the intent. But just to give you the fact. So Advaita puts more importance on jnana, whereas Visishta Advaita qualifies it with bhakti, takes some emotion into it. It's not dry jnana. So when a person is suffering on the street, if he cries, Amma, go run towards him because Jani Janardana Bhava. This is the basis of Varkari Sampradaya or Sant Sampradaya of Maharashtra. Okay, so Ramanuja made it explicit. So if somebody is crying on the street, if there is a time to do Sandhya, take care of this person first. And then go and do Sandhya Vandan. Even if it's delayed by one Muhurta, 48 minutes, there is opportunity in Veda to do one more extra Argya and say offer your Prayachitta, offer your excuse because the excuse is for genuine reason. That is Bhakti. So then this Nambillai says, okay, whom do you call as a Sri Vaishnava? Pirar novu kandu. If somebody is suffering, pirar novu mane suffering. Pirar novu kandu amma endru irangu bhavan. Oh God, why this guy is suffering? Let me go and try my best to help him. That person is a Sri Vaishnava. That is based on Bhakti Bhava. Pirar novu kandu am. Okay, then if you are a strict Shastric person, that's what I'm coming. Oh, he is suffering because he is taking care of the karma. It is the phala for his karma. This is the result of his bad deeds, whether in this janma or previous janma. Let's not debate that. Something like that. So, if somebody says, okay, let him suffer because that is his karma. He has to take care of karma. No, he is not a Sri Vaishnava. What is needed today? That emotion, that empathy is needed. Bhakti Rupa Pannajnanam. If you know Tamil, it's a Manipravala. Tamil and Sanskrit combined together. So Telugu people and Tamil people and of course Kannada people would know. Pirar novu kandu amma endru irangu bhavan Sri Vaishnavan. Oh, let him suffer. That is his karma. Pirar novu kandu am enbavan a Vaishnavan. He is not a Vaishnava. So that is very important. Jani Janardana Bhava. So Bhakti brings it. So Sri Sampradaya, Ramanuja emphasized the importance of Bhakti. So when you need to have Bhakti, first and foremost you should see the other person is having affection towards you and he is also having superior characteristics which you can imbibe. So first and foremost Bhakti comes towards a person. You worship somebody if he has certain superior traits. And you worship somebody if he has done something, achieved something. And you worship somebody where he is a benevolent person. All these are seen in Rama. And there was a great Sanskrit scholar and a Sri Vaishnava preceptor based out of Srirangam called Alavandar. So he writes a beautiful poem called Stotra Ratnam. Stotra means stuti, eulogy. Ratnam means pearls. So beautiful. And he says, so why are we devoted to the Lord? Why are we doing seva? Bhaja seva ya miti dhatu. Why are we doing seva to Lord? Because first and foremost you get attracted to somebody instantaneously. Even in the Laukika, even in today's world you get attracted because of certain features. Well, Annalum Nokinal, Avalum Nokinal. That's how the love sprang up between Ram and Sita. When Ram was walking on Janakapuri, on the streets of Mithila, Vishwamitra goes and Ram comes. The first and foremost, the beauty, Ram's beauty mesmerized Sita and the city dwellers. Okay, leave it. So, but Sita was not only carried away by that beauty of Ram alone. By that time, Sadananda had told the heart of Ram how he pacified Gautama Muni to take Kausalya. That is the greatest thing in those days. Guna. And then his valor. Kaivannam angu kanden, Kalvannam ingu kanden. Rama's valor, Parakrama, Okabana, Okamata. So Okabana, Godanda, his valor. So all these are the things that attract people. Some may be more. We don't know the proportion. Depends on situation. So, Vashi Vadanyo Gunavan Rujuhu Suchihi. Beautiful Sanskrit slokam in Stotra Ratnam. So, how does bhakti come? The bhakti comes between two people. The affection comes between two people because of certain characteristics. What are those characteristics? If there is a bhakti, the superior bhakti between Lord and us, we get attracted because of his benevolence. Vashi means he goes out of the way, grabs us. First and foremost, he grabs us and tells you. Once he grabs us, we know that we are in his warm comfort. Vashi, Vadhanyaha, Gunavan, Rujuhu, Suchihi, Mruduhu, Dayaluhu, Maduraha, Stiraha, Samaha. Vashi, Vadhanyo, Gunavan, Rujuhu, Suchihi, Mruduhu, Dayalu, Maduraha, Stiraha, Samaha. Kriti, Kritagnaha, Kritagnaha, Swamasi, Swabhava. Of 12 characteristics. Twamasi, Swabhavata. Innate. These should be innately available. Somebody should not come and force. These 12 characteristics will make us to fall in affection or in lament and love with somebody. At least one should be in abundance. If you don't have all the 12, at least try to have one or two. Vashi, Vadanyo, Gunava, Rujuhu, Suchihi, Mriduhu, Dayaluhu, Madhuhu, Stiraha, Samaha, Kriti, Kritagnaha. Twamasi Swabhavataha Samasta Kalyan. This is the collection, cocktail of all the Kalyana Gunas. Samasta Kalyana Guna Amrudodati. You are the receptor of this all collection of all these 12 gunas. Vashi Vadanyaha Gunavan Rujuhu Suchihi Mruduhu Dayaluhu Maduraha Stiraha Samaha Kriti Kritagnaha. What is Vashi? Vashi means for Asrita Vatsalaha iti Vashi. Go one step further. You don't have to go take refuge. He is a Paramapita. He will come running towards you to provide help. Rarama intidaka Raramaniya Sukumara Nanelukora Rarama intidaka. Once you call him, he will come. But nobody in Dwaraka called Krishna. He himself came building the city. That's a different story. So Vashi. Asrita Vatsala, who will take care of you, the person who takes care of you. Vadhanyaha, who gives himself. So we know that in Ramayana he gave everything. Whatever he earned in 12 years as a prince, he would have gone to so many wars. You should understand. Valmiki or Raghuamsa or Bhakti, nobody tells about it. Nobody tells how he spent 12 years after marriage in Ayodhya. Understood that he should have done all the duties spotless according to the rules. Okay. Vasishta Smriti. Because he was a disciple of Vasishta, so Vasishta Smriti. Okay, so he gives everything. Not only he gives everything, he gives himself. We know that from Sugriva, Vrittanta, that he goes and says, I am going to fight for you. Because once he heard the story of Vali taking Sugriva's wife, he said, you and I sail in the same boat, so it's my duty to protect you. Vadanya. Gunavan, Guna mane Sausilyam, Sila Sausilya. No distinction between rich, poor, heavy, might and meek. No. To give to everybody, to be one among. It's like flowing of water. Flowing of rain, pouring of rain. Gunavan means Sausilyam. Gunavan is different from Saulabhyam. Saulabhyam is different from Sausiliam. Rama exhibited Sausiliam because he was a prince, whereas Krishna exhibited Saulabhyam. He took that stick and then drove the horse for Arjuna. That is simplicity. Right? So he went into Gopika's house. Vikretu kama kilagopakanya murari padarpita chittavrit. Beautiful Krishna Karnamrita slokam. Bhakti. So to tell the character of Krishna that he is simplistic person. When these gopis who didn't understand, they didn't even know any letter. All they know is in the morning they get up, they chant. And when they chant, they say, Hey Govinda Murari. That's all they cry. It's like there's alarm. One gopika gets up and says, Hey Krishna, hey Murari. And that became their life. So they go and sell the dadi mane, curd or milk. And then when they take that, they don't say this is one quantity, two quantity. They forgot to say one, whether it is dadi or gritam or ajyam or milk or clarified butter. They didn't understand. All they said, this is Krishna, this is Krishna. So no distinction whether it is a curd or milk. Then they measure, okay, give me two measures. All they say Krishna. Then they say Krishna. That's what in Sri Vaishnava families, they will say when they put the measurement, first they will say Tiruvarangam, then they will say Periyakovil. They won't say 1 and 2. To them it's like the abode of Buloga Vaikunta is Tiruvarangam. So they will say Tiruvarangam, Periyakovil. Then they will say 3. 1, 2 is not there. 1 is Tiruvarangam, second is Periyakovil, 3, then 4. Likewise, Vikretu Kama Kilagopakanya. Look at the rhyme. That is Bhakti. Murari Padharpita Chitta Vritti. All they did is to take surrender at the feet of Murari. To quell Murari, he came as Hayagriva. Anyway, that story is different. Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti. Then beautiful line comes. So it became their life, their bhakti. They didn't know anything, which we see in Bhagavad as well. When these Rishi Patnis, they said, heck with your Agni Santan, I'm going. Okay. Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti Dadhyadikam Ka Mohavasat Avochat Dadhyadikam. Dadi, Gritam, whatever it is, milk, pious, cheer, whatever. They didn't know the distinction between milk. Can you believe? Even the Gopika, Gopa, Balak in the womb will know what is milk, what is grita, what is ajya, which is the rotten yogurt, whatever it is, it will know. Spoiled milk, they will know because that's part of their blood. But they forgot everything. Dadhyadikam mohavasat avochat. They forgot. All they said was, okay, somebody stopped at their home. Hey, come. I want Krishna. Then he said, take this Krishna. She sells milk, calling it as Krishna. The lady comes to buy the milk, calling it as Murari. Dadhyadikam mohavata mohavashat avochat. They start talking only in terms of Krishna Nama. No name. Names have been forgotten. Only Krishna Nama was there. This is to show the uttermost level of bhakti. Anyway, Murari Dadyadikam Mohavasat Avochat Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. All they knew was only Govinda Damodara Madhava. Vikretu Kama Kilagopaganya Murari Padarpita Chitta Vritti Dadhyadikam Mohavashat Avochat Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So it unites the song. Whereas, okay, Janmadhyasya Yataha Sastrayo Nitvad Tattu Samanvayat. This is Brahma Sutram, no doubt. Most Sarva Papa Vinashanam. Okay. Who will come? That too in Kali. Whereas Janmadyasya yatonvayat itaratah charteshva bhigyaswarat. Same thing, Vyasa begins Bhagavatam with this sloka. Janmadyasya yataha iti Brahma Sutrasya Pratama Sutra. Sanskritam. Because Brahma Sutram we have to discourse in Sanskrit. That's an additional burden. Leave that one. But then he said, okay, what is Janmadyasya yataha aphorism? Nobody understood. Which is the cause of the world? That is the meaning. But then it says, which is the cause of the world? Which is the sustaining power of the world? Which is the one that absorbs everything in Mahapralaya? You have to elaborate it. Whereas, Araye namaha, Araye namaha, Araye namaha, Janmadyasya yatonvayat itarataha charteshva abhigyaswarat tene brahma hridaya adhikavaye muhyanti yat surayah tejo varin mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Even this is difficult. Even Bhagavatam is difficult. Janmadyasya yatonvayat itaratah charteshvu bhigyaswarat tene brahma hridaya adhikavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejovari mridam yata vinimayo yatra trisargo mrusha dhamna svena sada. Dhamna, he is the abode of people who want Atma Anubhavam, Paramatma Anubhavam. Nirasta kugakam satyam param dhimahi. That Janmadhyasya, that Parabrahmam is the Satyam. It is not an ordinary Satyam, the one you and I speak. It is eternal, everlasting Param Satyam dhimahi. That is Bhagavata. So this Bhagavata says this Bhakti began in South India. What is Bhakti we know. How did the Bhakti come? And how Bhakti comes? Bhakti comes because of attraction. In a positive way. Which Srotra Ratna Shloka gives us. Memorize that. What is Bhakti? How would Bhakti come? This Shloka is enough. Vashivas anyo gunavan rujuhu suchu. Ruju mane satyam. Suchi, cleanliness. Hygiene, take it like that. In other words, perfect way of living. Mruduhu, mrudubashi, mitabashi, purvabashi. Mrudu, soft spoken. Dayalu. Dayalu means gives material aspect is dayalu. Vadanyaha is giving oneself. That's the difference. Maduraha, stiraha. We know that. Like, because Rama comes from the Ishchvaku dynasty, Raghuvamsa, we have seen Aja. When his wife Indumati died, how Kalidasa describes, he was like a Dhritiman. He was like an iron rod. So, stiraha sama buddhi. No distinction between rich and poor. And sama dukkha sukha kshama. Pitra dattam pura rajyam prangmayim pratyapadyata. When Dasaratha, Kalidasa says, when Dasaratha said, I am going to give you the kingdom tomorrow, you will be crowned, he didn't bother. Prangmayim pratyapadyata paschati vanaya gaccheti. Then next day they say, go to forest. Paschati vanaya gaccheti mukaragam samam jana. Sama, no, that in Krishna calls it as sthita prajna. Samadukka sukha sthita prajna iti. That Kalidasa says, today he is going to be the Raja, tomorrow is not the Raja. He didn't care. He just kept on doing his job. 247. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana ma paleshu kadachana ma karma palayetur bhu mate sangotsava karmani samaha kriti. He is capable of doing things. He didn't know where his wife was. He didn't know how to cross this Lanka. He did it. Kriti. Veda says, Shraddha Bhagasya Muri. He wanted to get his wife. He didn't care to get Sri Lanka, Lanka. No. All he wanted is he wanted to get back his wife. That's all. Kriti. Kritagnaha. Kritagnaha. Who remembers good deeds. Friendship. Kritagnya is one of the greatest quality. Sainandri Maravamai. Friendship, remembering the deeds somebody helped you. Kritagnaha tvamasi swabhava. And why is Rama eulogized? Because he inherited everything innately. Imagine. All these 12 gunas. Tvamasi swabhavaha samas. If you have these 12, whatever is left out. Okay, somebody asks, what is this, what is that? Okay, when you have all the 12, everything will fall. Samastha kalyana gunamruta. Guna amruta, this is the nectar, this is the bliss of guna. That means it is like udadi mane ocean. So if you have these 12 named characters, you will have other qualities, so naturally you are going to fall. That's what we call it as hero. Why people went behind Bapuji? No man is perfect, but still, why people went behind Bapuji? Because maximum guna here, no swartha, no. You may ask, okay, selfishness is missing out in this. That's what they say. Samasta kalyana gunamruto udhadi. Asi you are, lay Lord, ye Ram. First and foremost, people got attracted by Rama. Janubhagum aravinda dalayata Ramam nishachara vinashakaram namami. Ajanubhagum Guda Jatruhu Arindam. Six pack. We now only tell six pack now. No, six pack concept was there in Ramayan days. Guda Jatru. Guda mane cover. Jatru mane collar bone. Most of the people who don't have muscle, but for fat accumulates in tummy, muscle accumulates in chest. That's what they say, six pack, right? So when Rama walks, nobody could see his collarbone. Guda, closed. Jatru mane this collarbone. Guda Jatru Arindama. How was he? Matta Madangagamanam Vikyata Paurusham. Beautiful. Valmiki describes again and again in the Ayodhya Kanda, 3rd Sarga, when Dasharatha calls him. When Dasharatha calls him to the assembly to announce to the people that this is my son, Matta Madangagaminam Vikyata Paurusham, he walks like a little elephant. People stunned. Icha mohi mahabhagum raghuviram mahabalam gajeram vratayantam ramam chatramritanam. How bhakti comes? Bhakti comes because of attraction towards greatest guna. Samasta kalyana gunamruto dhadi asi. Who are you? You are a walking embodiment of dharma, satya. Rama, come. Nannu palimpa natachi vachitivo na prananata. In Mohana, Tyagaraja sings, Nannu palimpa natachi vachitivo na prana. You have come to protect me, hey Ram. So he puts aptly Mohana Raga, which is a mesmerizing raga. Kriti Kritagnya Tvamasi Swabhavata Samasta Kalyana Gunamruto Dado Gunamruto Dadi Asi Tvam. So Bhakti begins by some kind. So you should have at least some message. Okay, then you say. That's what they say Mridu. Mridu Mana, it's not only soft spoken, but the words that have some meaning. Oh, when Babuji united people, because his words had the powerful meaning, it was a movement created. Because what was the movement? Freedom to India, freedom to Bharat. So that is the Vakya, Satya Vak. So there should be some purpose. But Babuji was a tall old man when he started this movement, mid-40s. Okay, nothing there in terms of attraction. But he had a powerful message. What was the message of Rama? Rama vigrahavan dharma sadhu satya parakrama. Dharma. Likewise, Babuji had a mission to get freedom for Bharat. So Martin Luther King, civil rights. Nelson Mandela, freedom and get out apartheid. See, that is it. So you fall. They are revered people. Even United States President have busts of Gandhiji and Martin Luther King, of course, Gandhiji and Nelson Mandela. Their busts are there in their office. Depends on their wish. Anyway, they say. Okay, so you attract people because you have a powerful message which is not selfish, na swartha. Okay, we know. That's what Rama, you may think that he went behind his wife. Okay, if he had to go behind his wife, he could have simply taken. If Rama did not respect the words of Kaikeyi, he would not have lost his wife. That's secondary. So first thing was for protecting dharma. Yam palayasi dharmastvam dhritya cha niyamena cha savai ragavas. A beautiful sloka. Kausalya says, life is not enough to study Indian corpus. Trust me. I am feeling the same. Imagine if I had to study this and prepare. From age of 7 after my Upanayana, my father and others taught me until 18th year. Then I stopped. Dhanyaho. I am grateful to them. Otherwise, why would Bhargavi and Vishnu and Vasuki come? So, yam palayasi dharmatvam niyamena dhrityacha niyamena. Hey Raghava. So Rama convinces his Mata to let her go. Then she does beautiful, like Mata says, hey Ram, I know you are a protector of dharma, so dharma will protect you. Yam palayasi dharmatvam dhrityacha, with fortitude and with what is prescribed. Niyamena dhritiche. Yam palayasi dharmastvam dhrityacha niyamena cha savai raghava sardhula. Until then he was Rama, 24-year yuva. Then he becomes a tall, that towering figure who stood on the rock of dharma and satya. Who said this? I've said that in the class. Whose quotation is that? Professor V. Raghavan. Okay. So, Raghava Shardula, tiger among men, tiger among even Raghukul people. Raghava Shardula dharmastvam abhirakshatu. What a beautiful sloka. So when somebody goes out of the house, instead of saying goodbye, say that. But if you could say this also, the rhyme itself, my mom chanted this. Yam palayasi dharmastvam driyame dhrityacha niyamena cha savai raghava sardhula dharmastvam abhirakshat. That is Bhakti text. See, the recitation itself gives you goosebumps. That kind of a vibe brings people together. Dhrityacha niyamena cha savai raghava sardhula dharmastvam abhirakshatu. When Pradhan Mantri Modi ji, before consecrating the Ayodhya Mandir, he came to Sriranga. And the people on the streets of Sriranga, because Sriranga is the place, it's the Kula Dhana, is the Kula Devata for Rama. So, he came to Srirangam in Trichy and paid his obeisance to Lord Ranganatha. When he was going through the streets, the people in the streets of Sriranga recited this poem as if they are mother like Kausalya blessing the Modi to be successful in life. Yam palayasi dharmastvam dhrityacha niyamena cha savai raghava sardhula dharmastvam abhirakshatu. That is Bhakti. Ramayana is a Bhakti text. Bhagavati is a Bhakti text. Annamaya Padya is a Bhakti text. Abhanga is a Bhakti text. Tyagaraja Kirtanamu is Bhakti. Bhakti Veena Sankita Jnanamu Mokshamu Galade. In Danyasi. You see, so that is what it is. Bhakti. Who is Ranganayakam? That is Muthuswami Dikshidhar sings Ranganayakam. Ranganayaka, you are the Nayaka of the world. Ye people, pay obeisance to him. Juta Murare Sudatulara Rangapatini Juta Mura. Danyasi to Arabic, it should flow. Juta Murare Sudatulara Rangapatini Juta Murare. That bhakti comes automatically. That bhakti comes, pours. Why I am able to do this? Satulu unde purvajiki. Tapulu unde dasuki. If there is something I say which is of use, that is all because of my purvaj. That is all because of to my guru, nothing. Tapulu unde dasudiki. So I make that disclosure. So what happens? So that bhakti, when you have that bhakti, of course, you should do some work. No, these things doesn't come. 40 years back, I studied. So what is that is bhakti. In Tamil, it is known as kadal, premamu. In Telugu, it is prema. Kannada, it is prema. In Tamil, it is known as kadal. It is not the low-end kadal. It is the kadal to achieve supreme. Kadalagi kasindu kannir melgi. Thirugnana Sambandar in Tamil. So we are now flowing into Tamil Bhakti poets and saints, Alvars and Nayanmars, 5th century to 10th century. There is a debate, okay, by who the greatest text to refer to is the History of South India by K. Nilakanta Shastri. Anyway, for reference. So, Kadalagi, the topmost of all those 9 Mars is Thirugnana Sambandar. He sang what is known as Thevaram. The first three texts of Thevaram, about 8,000 poems alone, he sang, they say. He says, Kadalagi, God will come to you. He may not come to you today, but you will realize Him, because life is not easy. If you grow all at once, then what is charm? You have to take the pain and suffering and things. So, have faith. Right? Kadalagi kasindu kannir malgi oduvartamai nannerikku uipadu. Kadalagi kasindu bashpavari. Just you melt, pour towards Him, your heart towards Him. To do that bhakti, you have to have Vishvas. So, Maya mili na Ram. So, how do you know Vishvas? That is what Bhakti. Veda says everything, edicts. The same thing Bhakti poem says, but when somebody is singing this Bhakti poem, when somebody is reciting Bhagavat, when somebody is reciting Rama, Jayattati Balo Ramaha Lakshmanascha Mahabalaha Raja Jayati Sugrivo Raghavena Abhipalita Dasoham Kosalendrasya Ramasya Aklicha Karmanaha Anuman Shatru Sainyana Nihanta Marutatmajana Ravana Sakastram Me Yuddhe Pratipalam Bhaveti Shilavistu Pravartara Padapaicha Sakastrasha Daitva Purim Lankam Abhivadya Maitilim Samurdharto Gamishyami Mishatam Sarva Rakshasam Namostu Ramaya Salakmanaya Devyai Tatske Janakatmajaye Namostu Rudrendra Yamanilebhyo Namostu Chandrarka Marutkanebhya. 5 poems. Hanuman sits in the Ashokavana and Simshuka Vriksha and he recites. Then he becomes successful. So that is bhakti. But then that is, okay, poetic structure is there, it is nice to hear, it is easy to memorize, but that is not alone bhakti. You need to have Vishwas. So then the same thing what Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, Rithas Swadhyaya Pravachane, Satyam Cha Swadhyaya Pravachane, Tapas Cha Swadhyaya Pravachane, Damas Cha Swadhyaya Pravachane, Shamas Cha Swadhyaya Pravachane. Veda says this, oh God, I don't understand everything. Then if you tell that in terms of story of Ramayana, people understand. Likewise, bhakti is nothing but storytelling in a structured way. So, we'll finish with there was a great modern Hindi writer of Varanasi called Munshi Premchand. If you had studied Hindi through Hindi Prachar Sabha like Das, those days I had thirst for learning languages. Now everything is gone. Samsaram ati kathoram dukkanide kalo rajan cries. Then even Sukha says, Parikshit says, Ye Mahamuni, Ye Tapasvi, Ye Urdhvaretase. Tell me more about Krishna Katha. Tell me more about Krishna Katha. I have 7 days I want to spend listening to Krishna Katha. He says, even for people to sit 10 minutes, go to Hina Netra Kala. Even to that 6 minutes to milk the cow, people are not stay put. Their mind is going everywhere. Previously only mind was supposed to go. Now even fingers are going everywhere. Because you cannot be separated from your hand phone. Anyway, that's a different story. So, he says, Kalau Dhukkan Ide Rajan. In that way, what you do? Have some faith. That is important. All this storytelling, all this crying, all this singing, you are showing your talent, whatever it is, it's there. But then you have to have Vishvas. So, Munshi Premchand tells this in a beautiful katha. It's a famous katha by Munshi Premchand. If you have to study Hindi, obviously you would have studied Munshi Premchand. Likewise, Hindi, Telugu Sahitya means Potanna Bhagavata, you have to study. Like that. Okay, so you have to study. Well, then, if you have to study Kannada literature, you have to, invariably, it's in school, Kuvempu, you have to study. Similarly, Kerala, you have to study Edutachan. If it is Tamil, of course, Kamban and Tiruvallur goes without saying. Likewise, So then you have to study Munshi Premchand ki kahaniyan. So he gives importance of hope and importance of Vishvas, confidence, Atma confidence and confidence on somebody. So he gives it as a story, and the story is titled, it's a collection of different aspects of a story. It says Maya Mili. We are all surrounded with all this facade, Maya. Naram, Satya never comes. So he gives this. So, but you need to have Vishwas. So to do that, to get Ram, what you should do? The author asks the story, Premchand ji, Mahan Bhav. O Nutana Hindi Sahitya ke Pitamaha. So he mixed Hindi and Urdu together, and it's beautiful. People used to sit. 1890 to 1930s, he lived in that range, I guess. Before independence. No telecast, nothing, no radio, nothing. People used to group. That is Bhakti towards literature. Anyway, but not only he told story Lokavadi Munshi Premchand ji. So he says, okay, Vishwas. First and foremost, you need to have some Vishwas, some confidence. So they said he is used to telling stories. So all his stories were based on village base. Like Bankim Chandra Chatterjee of West Bengal, Tagore and all that thing. So then there was a village. In that village there was a sadhu, and then there came an old merchant. He was left with only small amount of money, and he was trying to go to the big city to make money and to find a groom for his daughter. So he trusted, that is trust, Vishwas. He trusted that sadhu and gave that leftover money what he had to safeguard. Sadhu gave word, that is again Vishwas. Sadhu trusted this guy and he said, okay, until you come back I will safeguard, and whatever risk cost I will give up my life, but I will not let this money go. But then he found out some of his disciples were cheeky people. They wanted to steal away this money. Then what he did was, he dug that wealth in a hole under the tree where he was sitting, and told his disciples that he is going out of town for 2 days. But he didn't go out of town for 2 days. He just climbed up the tree and then sat there for 2 days. One night came and few of the corrupt disciples came and started digging. Then this guy says, look, you didn't have Vishwas in my teaching. I didn't have Vishwas in you because I knew that you people are not trustworthy. So there was no Vishwas. Whereas look at that old businessman. He trusted us. So learn this. You should always keep Vishwas. You should always keep faith. And don't do anything which will break trust. Then this man comes after a week and says, Sadhu, can I take the money back? He gave the money exactly how he gave. Then he said, Sadhu, I am very grateful that I never trusted that it will be safe. There again he says, look, never give up hope, never give up trust, which President Reagan also used to say, trust but verify. Because you came to me, you didn't go to my disciple, you came to me because you knew that I was a sadhu, you would have gotten character reference. So that is trust with verification. So Munshi Premchand ji says, the important thing one should have is to have a trust, but verified trust. That is Bhakti. Why you go towards Nrsimha? Because there is somebody who showed that this guy is trustworthy. That is Vishvas. That is surrender. That is Bhakti. Yengumulan Kannan enna maganai kaindu ingu. If you know Tamil, you will understand. This is poet Nammalvar sings about Narsimha avatar, hybrid avatar, Kaimiri. Yengumulan Kannan enna maganai kaindu ingu illayal. This is Bhakti poem. Thiruvaimozhi in Tamil. Yengumulan Kannan enna maganai kaindu ingu illayal enne iraniyantun pudaipa. We learnt, like my son reading Veda. He doesn't have book. Even today he recited this afternoon, being summer. He learns and he says, Appa, look, I'm reciting paragraph. Yes, of course, it takes 15-20 days, but same thing happens. So if you have that, once you get into that groove, that affection towards that language, affection towards that structure comes slowly, because he is 15-year-old, 14-year-old boy. He doesn't have, he's playful. Even when he's doing, he will see something. But at least the start is something to get tuned to that structure, get tuned to that literature. Then whatever contemplation and explanation, exposition, extemporis, whatever it is, it will come later. So you have to climb the ladder, each rung at a time. Yengumulan Kannan 40 years back, when I was 8 years old, after my Upanayana, imagine, I'm 54, you can calculate the age. எங்குமுடன் கண்ணன் என்ன மகனை காந்து இங்கு இல்லையால் என் இரணியன் தூண் படைப்பா அங்கு அப்போதே அவன் விய தோன்றிய என் சிங்கப்பிரான் பெருமை ஆராயும் சீர்மைத்தே அஹோபிலே காருட சைல மத்தியே கிருபாவசாதி கல்பித சன்னிதானே லக்ஷ்மியா சமாலிங்கித வாம பாகம். This is in Sanskrit in Kurnool, Ahobil in Andhra. எங்கும் முடன் கண்ணன், the same thing. அஹோபிலே காருட சைல மத்தியே கிருபாவசாதி கல்பித சன்னிதானே லக்ஷ்மியா சமாலிங்கித வாம பாகம் லக்ஷ்மீ நிருசிம்மம் சரணம் பிரபத்யே. Bhakti continues. We'll have to finish up with Alvar's and Nayanmar's approach on Bhakti, then we will move on. Mangalam Bhavatu, we'll meet next week.